You could be able to find it. If y'all have a problem with it, just let me know if you're having trouble finding the live feed, so on and so forth. Appreciate the likes, guys. I really look forward into speaking with you all about it because there's a lot of things we're going to talk about on the betrayal. I hope that y'all learned a lot yesterday as to what I was talking about in my live feed when I was discussing with you all um, about the so-called Antichrist. So, and this is something that you all need to all understand. These are things that you need to really um, adapt yourselves to learning the codes because once you learn the codes and how they communicate, there's nothing I can tell you anymore from that point because everything that that you learn from the codes, you will teach yourself and you will start to learn a whole lot more in depth about these people and about their secret agendas that they have been working together for a very, very long time. So, yeah, so tonight we're going to be discussing about the signs of treason and the signs and betrayal. Those of you who do not know nor understand what betrayal is, let me go ahead and give you all a real in-depth meaning of what that actually means. The meaning of betrayal or treason is breaking or violation or a violation of a presumptive contract, trust, or confidence that produces moral or psychological conflict within the relationship amongst individuals, between organizations, or between individuals and organizations. Often, betrayal is the act of supporting a rival group without letting your other people know that you have betrayed them to support a rival group to them. And or it is a complete break from previous decided upon a presumed norms by one party or the others. Someone who betrays others is commonly known as a traitor or a betrayer. So these are the things that we look for in the signs, in the characters that say they're on your side and have your interest at heart. You look for the signs that shows betrayal in that person, shows betrayal in his stance, in what he says, from what he says, from his actions. Because what they say and their actions speak two different things, then you already know you're being set up on a direction that's going to take you into a betrayal or a betraying position, so on and so forth. Okay, so for me to go in deeper in depth with this, I want you all to come and join me on my live feed on YouTube because I can't go into details any further on this YouTube, on this TikTok live feed because of the censorship that TikTok keeps on doing and keeps attacking on my account. They keep on removing my live feed. They keep on removing my videos because I'm throwing out truth bombs that is, and I can't figure out what their algorithm trigger words that they're using to red flag me, but it's not easy, and I just prefer to speak straightforward without having any kind of restrictions. But unfortunately, we're on TikTok, and they won't allow you to even freely talk the way that you're supposed to, or the way that we are supposed to legally talk, based on our constitutional rights of free speech. They don't really, they do not really acknowledge free speech as they claim they do. So, but anyhow, so the other thing that you all need to understand about the about corporations' involvements with politicians, that's something we also going to be addressing. That adds to the equation of the betrayal and in them being a treacherous traitors against the citizens of the United States or the citizens of our world that we live in. Because you got to remember, every leader in the world are involved in corporate sponsorship that have massive power through wealth and money to persuade politicians and law enforcement as well as lawmakers into fulfilling their agendas for their benefits that leaves everybody out as a whole and as a nation, only to benefit their agendas and benefit their ideology, so on and so forth. And we're going to discuss that tonight in this last and most updated version of Donald Trump's meeting with Jeff Bezos, Amazon CEO and entrepreneur, which also kind of triggered a little conflict of interest with Elon Musk. They have already in recent times, 7 years ago, met for the first time over the tech summit. Okay, remember that word, the technological summit is when they met the last time. And we've already discussed in detail what this tech summit was about. And we made it very clear to all of you, it was about microchip implants, digital implants, nanotechnology implants into humans, and also AI, artificial intelligence program, autonomy drone aircrafts program, as well as Tesla robots and autonomy robots, so on and so forth, of replacing humans for robots to do their job, so on and so forth. Yeah. And hang on a second, my battery going dead on my thing here. I thought I had charged it. My apologies, please. Let's see if it's going to work now. I don't know what happened here. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, my battery's going dead, so I have to manually hold it in my hand. Give me 1 second. So anyhow, so to make you all understand the importance of having these corporate powers major presence in influencing the politicians is a very, very is actually very criminal, because it's a conflict of interest. It violates all constitutional laws where government is now making commerce with politicians and getting very big donations for their campaign or for their inauguration and so on and so forth, to get them to do evil biddings for the corporate powers that, like I told you, that benefits them. So, but everything around this technological system that in the summit that they had met 7 years ago, I'm quite sure that this meeting that they were discussing here in a couple of days ago, or yesterday, should I say, is when they met, is that I'm quite sure it had a lot to do with the same thing, discussing the same matters in the technological matter, so on and so forth. Y'all give me 1 second here. My kid's walking in the door here. Give me 1 second. They are. I'm like, go ahead, go straight in. No, just use it. Okay, shut the door, guys. Don't make a lot of noise, please. Anyhow, so now, in turnkey, by them meeting with these corporate powers is actually a betrayal and treasonous act against you. And that is the problem. That's when you start to see the signs that Donald Trump is not on your side like you think he is. Because we've discussed this for over 15 and a half years, explaining to all of you that the government is going corporate. The government is no longer going for the typical government's game plan as we've all known it for the last 250 years. It's now going completely corporate, and it's coming out of its hiding that its interest is actually about forming a one world corporate system that no longer yields to the constitutional laws or the laws that are written thereof. It is to only line their pockets and to empower them as a god or a godlike structure, to where they no longer treat you as a human being anymore. You're now going to be openly treated as a slave to them, and there won't be nothing you can do to reverse the reaction or the actions that they're going to do. So, and these are all directing us all in a very high level treason act against us as citizens and the well-being of us living as citizens in this country or the countries abroad in foreign countries, because they're all going to go through the same problems that we're also going to be facing here, because it's a global agenda that's being directed on a global grand scale with every leader in the world on board with this agenda. You follow and understand what I'm talking about? So now, other signs that you all need to look for is arrogance, boastfulness, ego. When the arrogance and the egos are flaring real high with your leader, where he feels like he is entitled and he has the authoritarian right and more power than anyone on the planet, and brags and boasts that he's the only one, that he is the one who could do better than anybody else. These are the signs and the curtail signs that you need to start looking for betrayal. Because through that boastfulness and that arrogance is someone looking for to be praised as a god. Because if you're really for the people, you don't need to be boastful. If you're really for the people, you don't need to be arrogant. If you're for the people, you need to be calm and be on their level of communication and not on the level that you're better than they are and you're the only one better than everyone and anyone, blah, 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 that tries to challenge you. Those are the signs that he's acting in the form of a god. And this is what all of you need to understand. He's acting in the form of a god, that he is almighty, all great, all wonderful, all better than anyone anyone that's ever put the shoes on. He can wear them better than you. He can make those shoes look better than you. He can make the world look better than you. He can even make us look like we are in a non-war zone, that we're not fighting a battle, but we're actually fighting in a war. We have 3 different war fronts we have been fighting on even before he left office, and he sat there and said that he was not fighting. There was no war during his time. That was a deception. See, he already started deceiving you all. And everyone jumped on that bandwagon and said, well, we weren't at war. You know what he did? And this is the actual truth. See, what he did is that he tried to make it look like they were on this great exodus out of Iraq, out of Iran, out of Afghanistan, out of Syria, so on and so forth. But the truth is, they never were on this exodus, because we still got troops in Iraq. We still got boots on the ground, and then we still got little shallow fighting, a lot of fighting still going on. There's no real ceasefire that's happening in Iraq right now. They're really still fighting over there. And there's not no real ceasefire in Afghanistan. They're still fighting in Afghanistan, even during his watch. They just made it look and appear to the world and to his supporters that he is the only president that was not actively in a war. And that in itself, again, was the signs of betrayal and treason. He deceived you all. He lied to you all. He falsely spoke that he was not in a war. He also falsely spoke that he was the one that made the economy great. He didn't make the economy great. The economy was already great. It was already in a damn good position, in a damn good standing. The economy was strong, and we were not having a hike, an inflation hike anywhere in our planet before he took the office. It just started happening. It just was to make him look like he was the one that was doing it all. All he did was just simply proclaim that he was the one who did it when he really didn't. Because all you have to do is go to do a research, what you call a historical research on the economic position of Wall Street, and you will see for yourself that Wall Street was booming. I mean, it was literally above record levels before he was even running for office. So we already know that was a fraud. We already know that he deceptively spoke to all of you. The other thing is to look at his track record, that you can all start to see the deceptions. Why does this man have so many accusations against him that are criminal, federal crimes against him way before he was even running for office, way before he was even thought about or even had thought about running for office. We're talking about 20 and 30 years before. He's already developed massive track records on his back, and what those were strained from sex abuse to underage children, sex abuse to Stormy, the former porn star, where he paid her hush money to keep her quiet, which was all public knowledge. This was all over mainstream media. But why does a man have so many accusations against him, and he wasn't even a political threat to anyone? He wasn't even running for office. There was no competitive purpose behind him. You got to understand, there's a lot more to Donald Trump than any of you all really understand. Y'all following and understanding what I'm trying to get at? So I'm not trying to attack the man, but like I said, the subject of this case is looking for signs for treason and looking for signs of betrayal. And there's a lot more signs to his treasonous acts against the people. He's also involved with high-level, very well-known public figures that are involved in human trafficking. And he's not just only involved in them, he's even called them his personal friends. He's even referred to them as great people in his speeches, such as, Jeffrey Epstein, Carlos Slim, which is the Mexican cartel, who is the wealthiest man in Mexico, who's also very well publicly known in Mexico as a human and a child trafficker. How many of you remember the woman who said Carlos Slim is a trafficker and was frantically running in the streets trying to save her life and screaming and frantically in fear because they were trying to kill her because she had just escaped being a victim, escaped the moment of being fixing to be where she was fixing to be a trafficked woman, and she frantically screaming in Spanish that Carlos Slim and his cronies were trying to traffic her. And as she witnessed many people being mutilated and dismembered of their bodies, so on and so forth. And she was saying this all in Spanish. Do y'all remember all this? But the question is why is he strapped around many pedophiles and pedophile human traffickers? Why is he connected to these very high-level criminal individuals? And how many remembers Donald Trump was also very connected to the mafia? Y'all remember that? So y'all all have short memories of what y'all put in that office. Why? You already know that the guy is very well strapped with very evil and very demonic and very corrupt people around him. So if he has this many corrupt and evil people around him that are all in his inner circle, then what do you think that's setting us all up for? What position do you think we're all being set up for? We're being set up for the largest and the greatest deception on the planet. You follow and understand what I'm saying? In other words, we're about to be betrayed in the biggest way that we've ever can imagine. And a lot of people, I made a video earlier stating that you all think I'm a Democrat because I'm speaking against him. No. Guys, I've even equally spoke about Biden and equally spoke about Harris because they're equally evil. There's no such thing between the two of them that are lesser of the two evils. They're both highly and extremely very evil people. There's no such thing in an evil society called a lesser of the two evils. There's no lesser evil. Lesser does not exist in evil people. They're all evil for a reason. And they're all called evil for a reason because they all have high level potential to commit high-level evil acts against the public because they all belong to these organizations, and they all been indoctrinated into these occult organizations to do so, and they already locked into it as a blood oath unto those organizations. They cannot deviate from the plan. You all think that DT that's in the office is not a part of the plan because he says, I'm going to make America great again. Guys, that man don't sit in that most powerful seat of the United States without being all a part and a high-level member of the occult. You don't get in that damn position unless you're a member of them. So I don't know what part of this that you all forgot about. I don't know how you all got so complacent and so distant from the memory of every president before them and how evil they all were. And all the researches we told you all about, we taught you all about the occult, about the secret powers that run the entire government organizations. We've told you all their memberships. We've exposed their memberships and their rankings with these memberships. We told you Donald Trump openly is a Jesuit's coadjutor. We told you very clearly. We showed you how he became a Jesuit's coadjutor. But nobody wanted to listen. He did not wear those uniforms for nothing. He doesn't hold his hands in an upside down inverted pyramid pointing down for no reason. He does it intentionally because he has to, because that shows his oath to the organization. The only way, when I told you the signs of betrayal, when you know they're betraying you, the signs of treason is they do it through symbology. They have to show their symbology before the world so that it puts a marking of who they belong to and who owns them, who controls them, so on and so forth. We told you symbolism will be their downfall. Only if people will learn the symbols and how they use them and how they sling them before your eyes without you recognizing them and without you realizing that that's what they're doing. That's why we try to teach you the symbols, how to look for it. But this is what they do. We showed you how Donald Trump uses 666 with his hands and holding it in a particular way. He holds it in a certain way and he moves it in motion in a certain way so that you all can see it. And he throws it like that. That's the way he holds it. And he does it 3 times. He always does it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then he changes his hands. And then he tries to go, and as he keeps talking, and then he does it with the other hand. Again, giving you 666 3 times. This is 666 3 times so that you can see the circle being the first 6. Anyhow, I got bounced out of TikTok. Now I got to appeal the live feed. But anyhow, I'm sorry, guys. So now he does it 6 times, or he does it 3 times for each hand. And he always uses that sign to let you know that he is a part of the Luciferian occult. He's a part of the agenda. See, they always bounce me. They always got to make my life a living nightmare on TikTok. It's just never going to stop. They're a piece of shit. But anyhow. All right, so let me go ahead and try to do something else because they're not going to grant me that. They're going to restrict me from talking now. Let me see here. I'm going to make a video real quick as I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Now they're saying I'm suspended until December the 26th after Christmas. You see, they intentionally do it so far ahead so that you lose interest. They're a piece of shit. They try to treat you like you're a fucking child.
You can't have access until you fucking do what we tell you to do, assholes.
It's disgusting, man. Now it says I was approved. Now I can go back to my live feed. Damn, this is so damn unbelievable. The trouble they make for everybody. Let's see if it's going to work this time. Okay, so here we are again, guys. Greetings, people. Again, I won the appeal because I'm not giving any misinformation. Somebody is falsely making false claims that I'm giving false information or misinformation. How can it be misinformation, people, when it's openly spoken about on national television? He does it in front of everybody. There is no let me see if we can still get if we can invite guests in here now. I'm not sure. Hello. What's up, brother? Sorry, you got lost you here. Can you hear me? Yeah, I don't see your camera. Let's see here. I'm going to invite Free Minded. If she wants to come. No, she can't come. You disconnect creator if you go. Okay, you'll disconnect creators if you go live with guests. Okay. Uh-huh. That's what I want. I want to. I can't see your face. Sorry, let me do something here because this is not right. I don't want this. I don't need. Let's see. There we go. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to invite some people over as guests in here. So give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm inviting some people who want to chime in with conversation. If you want to come. Let's see here. Hello, Mary. It's good to have you. Can you see me or hear me? Okay. Let me know, guys, if y'all want to come and join me. I would like to have you guys to come. I'm just trying to sit there and see if anybody wants to come live and speak live. Okay. So what I'm going to do is right now I am on my YouTube account where I'm doing a live video on YouTube. So if y'all want to come and join me live on there where I can go into detail, I'd appreciate if y'all did, because it's hard for me to speak here on TikTok because of the censorship. They keep bouncing me. Somebody keeps coming in here and having my videos removed. and having my live feed removed. So I prefer to have you guys over there because it's really getting ridiculous out of control. Anybody here? I'm just waiting for you guys to join in. Come on, guys. Hit those like buttons. Let's see. Hit those invites. And let me give you my YouTube account link real quick where I'm doing the live feed. Actually, y'all should be able to go to my live feed by just going to my profile, because I have the link in there. It's in my profile. Because if I lose my connection here, I want y'all to come to my YouTube, okay? Because I know that I'm going to go into detail and I'm going to lose my my live feed here. So I want everybody, please go to my profile, click on the YouTube hyperlink, look where it says the tab says live, click on it, and then you will see my live video. All you have to do is just click on it. You will see me wearing this shirt. You know that you're on the right video. So, and just click on it. The name of the video is called "The Signs of Treason and Betrayal." So I want you guys to come on there because I want to talk about these things without any kind of restrictions. Please, everybody, go there to my profile and click on the hyperlink to my YouTube and join me on YouTube and subscribe to me on YouTube. Okay? Because all you guys that subscribe on there will be able to get a notification every time I go live. You will be able to get the notification, and y'all can join me there because there I can talk a little bit more openly without any restrictions than here. This is just out of control here, man. This shit on TikTok is just too much. I'm going to invite you, Mary. Let's see, invite Mary to go. Okay, let me invite you. Okay, I've already invited you, Mary. You're already here. Okay, everybody already here. Let's see, Mr. 100. I'm going to invite you. I'm going to invite Dharma. If y'all want to come, I'm going to invite you guys. Okay, hello, everybody. I can hear you, Mary.
Oh, hold on.
No, keep talking. How you doing?
I'm well.
Well, then it's good to be well.
Good, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just waiting for other people if they want to join in and chime into this conversation. All right, there we go. We got Goody, and who's this is just joining us. They look like they're trying to sign in here real quick. Oh, it's Free Minded. Hello, Free Minded.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Happy holidays to everybody, by the way. Even though I know I don't believe in the holidays, but at least I still believe in the family, the family being together. And that's the most important about it. So what I was discussing with guys, I want you guys to go to my bio, and I want y'all to click on the hyperlink to my YouTube account. And what it does is it opens up YouTube for you from your browser, or you can just click on it and open it up, by copy and pasting the hyperlink into your own personal browser. And this way that you can all see it on YouTube live on your computer screens or on another device, so it doesn't interfere with a TikTok device. You understand what I mean? So, and this is why, just in case we lose connection here on TikTok, at least we have the live feed and we can continue on speaking there. Okay, this is why I'm taking this as an importance, because I don't want to lose connection to y'all. Okay, I want y'all to be able to to hear everything that's going on. Okay, so here we go. Again, back to what I was saying before I lost my connection, is that the symbolism is how you tell of what they belong to, what orders they belong to, what organizations they belong to, and who has control of them, because they don't just throw those hand signs for nothing. They don't just waste their time with them. They're doing it for a reason because they're identifying who they represent, who has control of them, and they have to because that's a part of their oath they took to the occult. That's the reason why you see the celebrities on all over the media when they're making the videos or when they're making music. You always see them throwing the hand signs. You always see the one eye, where they hold one eye so that you can all see it's referencing the seeing eye of Horus. Okay, it's all referencing the pagan order. The symbolism just shows the contract that they have to those organizations. You understand what I mean? That they are blood oath, blood in, blood out. They cannot escape that reality. They cannot escape it. You all think that just because they exposed Sean Diddy, of being a pedophile and a trafficker and all that, and having sex with underage kids and boys and all this stuff, you think that's just part of the problem, that this is just going to go away, and that those people that were there at that party with him are going to go away. No, they cannot say or do anything against the order. If they say or do anything or try to escape, you will hear about their story in the newspaper, and their mothers are going to be receiving them in the pine box somewhere close to their homes, or possibly even buried in a shallow grave, never to be seen or heard of again. So that's the problem with the secret society. That's the hold they have on all of these people. Donald Trump is no exception to the rule. Donald Trump is no exception to the system. You understand what I'm talking about? And this is why we try to tell you, watch for the signs, because he's letting you know on multiple occasions, every time you see him making a public speech, he's always throwing those hand signs of what he belongs to. That's why we try to tell you guys, he doesn't have your hearts and an interest. He was telling you all these things so that you will elect him, not only just elect him, but to raise him upon all high, to catapult him above everything and above everyone. Does this make sense what I'm trying to tell you? So, and this is the reason why I try to say to you all that and I got to be careful that I'm using names, because I think that's got a lot to do with why that this is becoming censored. It's because I'm using names. So let me not use his name. We'll just refer to him as DT one time, and you know that. And when I tell you I'm no longer talking about him, I'll just say I'm no longer going to be referencing him. We'll reference somebody else, so on and so forth. Okay. But in the meantime, I'm talking about DT. Okay. He's found in the Bible, and I was the one who was able to decode him inside of the Bible. I was able to find his name in a code name. And it was referenced as code name Little Horn, found in the book of Daniels. And when I found that he was actually in the book of Daniels, this is when I knew that we're talking about the Antichrist, because that was the name that was given to the Antichrist, was Little Horn. And Little Horn was the code name referencing trumpet. You see what I'm saying? Because horn is a reference to trumpet or clarinet. Well, you know the clarinet, or look for an individual person that references a clarinet. There's nobody, right? But you can look for someone that references a trumpet. So, and Trump would be the only person that referenced that symbol. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the abbreviation of his name. And when his trumpet sounds, it's referring to when Trump speaks, then all war will be declared upon the Christians in Revelations. Does this make any sense what I'm trying to tell you all? So that's how we knew that he was 100% the AC. And it wasn't just that. There was many different other signs, and I can share with you all the many different signs that we were all able to, to link into. The other sign that was linked to was the fact that he was linked to being boastful, arrogant, very high highly acknowledging himself and his accomplishments, and making everyone see that he's better than everybody, that he can wear the shoes better than you can wear them, that he can make society better than you can make society, he can make the economy better than you can make economy. And he's much better than anyone and everyone worldwide. We've all witnessed this openly on national television. We witnessed his speeches. We all heard time and time and time again what of his of his speeches boasting. Go ahead. You want to say something, Fremont?
No.
Okay. So this right here was one of the signs. The other thing is that him also being a habitual liar. Okay. There's something about him that has sprung from out of the pits of hell. This guy says one thing, but you quickly can tell he's lying about it because he changes his speech. He changes his wordings. He changes his character. He changes his attitude. Like we sit there, we had for how many years? 15 and a half years, he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, calling him a great guy. But as soon as he ran for office, he no longer knows Jeffrey Epstein. He broke ties with him, blah, blah, blah. And he just only prays that, for Ghislaine Maxwell, goes well for Ghislaine Maxwell, meaning that he still has a compassion for Ghislaine Maxwell, means that he still has a tie to her, but yet he don't want to make it, exclusively, that he's really, really involved in them. He's trying to keep his separation from them, but it's already too late. The damage is done. He's already been seen with them. He's been flown many different times in Jeffrey Epstein's aircraft. We got him on the flight manifest, so on and so forth. But he tries to deny it. He tries to deny being friends with him, even still today, that he's no longer friends with him, which we already know that it was all a lie. You see what I'm saying? He tries to lie about his relationships to these underage kids. And when years ago, remember the woman that's now a woman today, she was 13 years old in a dressing room. You remember that?
Yep.
And she still hasn't changed her mind. She still hasn't, backed away from her accusations. She still today, even though she was threatened and intimidated, even her attorney even openly admitted, said she would have pursued the charges if she didn't receive death threats and intimidation payoffs to get her to back away from the case. That's pretty fucked up, isn't it? And she was even upset that he managed to get to her. He managed to threaten her. But the question is, it's not a matter of the accusations. It's a matter of why so many accusations that string from 40 years ago all the way till now. Hundreds of claims against him. If you were not so evil, why so many claims? And they're not trying to make no money off the guy. Okay? These are people that are filing literal criminal charges against him in a federal courtroom that never reached it, just like Hillary Clinton. How many people did Hillary Clinton, or was Hillary Clinton responsible for that she murdered, that she had killed, that got too close to try to expose? How many of all the witnesses that testified, everyone that testified against Bill Clinton and his involvements with the cartel before he was a president in Hope, Arkansas, how many of those people got killed? Many of them. Many eyewitnesses were either killed or put in prison for the rest of their lives without parole. There's a very famous documentary called The Clinton Chronicles. You remember that documentary? The Clinton Chronicles literally was created not by whistleblowers like myself or independent researchers or investigators. The people who actually produced and made the Clinton Chronicles were the actual law enforcement, the very people who worked for them, the very people who were right-hand men to them. The guy that's the narrator was a right-hand man, worked right next to the Clintons. I don't know if he's still living because I ain't heard him make another video anymore. He's probably dead now because he smoked like a damn freight train and he has cancer. You can tell that he has probably lung disease, so on and so forth. But he literally exposed and went into details, things that only the witness who was there can even tell you. He didn't make the shit up. He witnessed it. He gave details. He gave government document details. He gave details of the ledgers that they were doing. He even showed the ledgers because he kept them and he copied them. how that they were laundering money. He didn't get hired there because he was doing a legitimate job. He got hired there to do money laundering, and that's what he was exposing. And they were using Hillary Clinton's law firm to launder the money, because you have to have, and to launder money, you have to have a LLC account. That's the way you hide and launder money. Most people that get an LLC account or business has a criminal reason why they're doing it. Most of them are not doing it because they're doing it for legitimate reasons. They're doing it to conceal or to launder illegal transactions and money, to clean dirty money, yada, yada, yada. That's why they say that's the highest standard of protection as a business owner, is to have an LLC account, because it's hard to track down money laundering through LLC accounts. You'll see what I'm talking about? It's hard to monitor it and to track it down and to pinpoint it, because they create a lot of what you call, what do you call them? They're dead businesses, but they look on paper as legitimate businesses. What's the word for it? I forgot the damn. Help me with it, Mary. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like dummy businesses.
Right.
I forgot the terminology that they use for it. Shadow businesses.
Right.
That actually operate on paper, but are not legitimate businesses. They're not anywhere to be found. They have what you call fake addresses, fake, that don't even exist. And you see that a lot on TikTok. You see a lot of companies on TikTok that tries to do that. So anyhow, let's see here. We get Rip 666 in here. How you doing, Rip? En serio. I got rid of that idiot. Well, now I'm going to have to ban and block this person so they don't come in here. Okay, so we got rid of that person because they're not here to really learn anything. All right. And they won't be able to respond in here. They won't be able to text in here, okay? So you're good. So anyhow, so now, but these are the reasons why Hillary Clinton got away. Because people, instead of calling her out for the crimes she was involved in and going after her for the crimes that she was involved in, they were actually praising her. How do you do that? How do you twist and turn the people around to where you're actually praising them and giving them all the sweet trimmings and the green light to do whatever they freaking want to do? How do you get the people to do it after they all witness you doing a crime against them? Is you simply pretend to be on their side. All you have to do is show the people and demonstrate that you're on their side, that you care about them. And they will let you get away with everything. They'll let you get away with murder, because they don't care as long as that you got their interest at heart. Why? Because the people are so gullible, they're so vulnerable, that at this point they are so desperate that they will accept anything, even a murderer and a child trafficker and a habitual liar as their leader, versus having to go through the struggles of high inflation, which was always done by design. It was not done by accident. We already know that the inflation was done by design. We know all of a sudden that Biden takes office, now inflation goes all the way to the roof. Come on. The inflation don't work like that. There has to be an alternative motive, a design that's happening underneath, the carpet, behind closed doors, so on and so forth. There's my friend. Come on, Kim, join us. I just sent you an invite. This is my cousin, guys. Did y'all know that we're both related to Johnny Cash?
Hey, cuz.
How you doing, cuz?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just sitting up here, just starting doing my live feed. We're sitting here talking about the our subject here tonight is about the signs of treason and betrayal. So please sit in and enjoy us. If you want to chime in, y'all be sure to chime in. And if you have any questions, please ask your questions. Or if you want to, have a comment or voice your comments, please do so at any time. So now I want to welcome you, Kim. It's good to have you here. So now, when you go look at Donald Trump, okay, there are many signs that he gave us. There are many signs that he was pouring out that people overlooked and didn't pay attention to, because all they were paying attention to is the great things he was saying. We say it great things because he expelled himself. He excelled himself. I'm going to use these words very, very adamantly because you all need to understand the importance of this. He exalted himself above everyone, and to sound like he's taking charge of America. I want to make America great again. He's belittling the other opponent while he's exalting himself above everything and taking the charge, taking the reins, like he is that he's confident and that he's got this. And the people like that. They like somebody who takes charge and who sounds like they are really ready to lead this country out of prosperity out of total destruction into prosperity. Excuse me, my twisted words. And that's exactly what they wanted. They were so damn desperate that they will sell their damn kids just to keep from having to struggle another day with these criminal Biden administration. And whatever works, if it sounds good, get him in the office. And that's exactly how they acted. They didn't care what his past is. They didn't care what crimes he's been charged with, what crimes he had been accused of. They didn't care. They simply just get him in the office because he's better than what we have as right now in the current administration, and we'd rather accept everything that he says, even if he's a damn liar. You can't prove it. That's what they always say, isn't that right? You can't prove he's a liar. No, we can actually prove it. You just chose not to look at the evidence. You just call us conspiracy theorists, nutcases. Oh, you're a Democrat. They would accuse us of that. They would accuse us of being a Democrat, and I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm neither one of them. I support neither side. I'm just independent, who decided that I'm not going to be deceived by mainstream media, and I'm damn sure not going to be deceived by politicians. I'm going to be independently open to question the integrity of that individual person. I support no one but me and my family. And I support and the people that I care about that are in my circle. And I always encourage those people that are in my circle, including my family, to also do the same thing. Question everything. Whatever they say, question it. Find the intent. Everything they say has an alternative intent, has a motive behind it. You have to understand that motive. You have to understand the game plan, the strategy behind his great speeches that he keeps saying. You understand what I'm saying? What is his motive? What is his alternative motive? Why does he get away with all the crimes that would have you and me thrown away for the rest of our eternal natural born life, if not put to death? How is it this man managed to evade all of his convictions and then get immunity right after he's been convicted on the same day? That's fucked up, isn't it? That's a gross abuse of power. And not only a gross abuse of power, but had catapulted him above the law. that he's no longer prosecutorial. He can no longer be prosecuted. He can no longer be prosecuted in any court because why? He controls the outcome of the crime. He controls where it goes, where it doesn't go. And he has the green light on all spectrum, including Congress and the Supreme Court. He has a green light. He is protected for a reason. He's not because that he couldn't serve time. They're protecting him for a reason. There's a big arteriative motive behind this protection. And you have to start asking the question, what is it? And then you start to find out it's in referencing to him being catapulted into the Antichrist position. That's the only way a person of this power, having this kind of protection, is the only reason why he's being put in that position. The only reason why he's being protected to be in that position. Because they had already selected him as the Antichrist of the world. They have already crowned him as the Antichrist of the world. When I say crowned him, he's already became a crown. He's already now a royalty. He was given the crown as the King of the Jews 3 years ago. How many of y'all remember the ceremony? Or 4 years ago was it? Y'all remember the ceremony? Okay. Then he was also given a plaque from the Jews. And that plaque read, "The Prince of Peace," embroidered and engraved into the plaque. So that's how he became the crown over Jerusalem, so on and so forth. Okay? It's called the July crown of Jerusalem, yes. And now we know that he is a crown. So now that references in Revelation 13 when it referred to the 7 heads with 7 horns and 7 crowns. When it's referring to, it was referring to in a code name. Horn referencing trumpet. Trump is the abbreviation to trumpet, so it was actually referencing him and his family. Him, his wife, and his children that made up 7. When it was talking about the 10 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns, because crown is the symbol of royalty, meaning that he has already now received the crown. And when it's referring to the 10 heads with 10 horns, it's referring to his grandchildren who also bears the same last name, Horn. Isn't that interesting? The trumpet, in other words. They all bear the same last name, Trump. Why? Because all of his grandchildren that bear the same last name as Trump are all male grandchildren. Pretty messed up, isn't it? Because it can't be a female, because a female cannot take a king's position according to the royal bloodline. It has to be all male. So now we know 100% that there are children that belong to Trump that are male, that are of the that are men that bear the same last name. The females cannot, even though they have the same last name, they cannot take the throne. Because why? Because they are royalty to marry off into another bloodline, unless they keep them in the same bloodline where they are incest to one another. In other words, meaning that they're open to be married and take upon a new name. They cannot, unless they are ancestry with each other, mating with their own bloodlines, so on and so forth, their own brothers and sisters, which they have been known to do in the occult. That's the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. That's what they're known to do. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers are very highly incest with their own next of kin, their own brothers, their own siblings, so on and so forth. And those that are siblings that were born imperfect or with imperfections, they will cord them off. If they didn't kill them, they will cord them off in a mental ward and lock them away for life, away from the public eye, where they're no longer recognized by by the bloodline family, so on and so forth. Yeah. But anyhow, that's how you know that he is 100% confirmed in the biblical text as the AC. A lot of people ask me, well, who is the false prophet? Well, that would be the church, who's also endorsed him as God's chosen. Remember that them coming out publicly saying the evangelicals saying that he's God's chosen. He is blessed. God's got his hands on him. He's there, and God's got is keeping him protected, so on and so forth. Now you start to see now how the church became the false prophet because they endorsed him, calling him God's chosen. See, everyone thinks that the false prophet is in reference to the papacy of the Catholic Church. It has nothing to do with the Pope. It's to do with the entire church organization system on the planet. That's including Buddha. That's including the Hindu, and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? All the religions around the entire world are all together calling him the anointed one. And that's how you know who the false prophet is, because that's what Revelations 13 and 11 was referencing. It was referencing the second beast who would rise from the earth. In other words, rising from their silence and then addressing the world, saying that he is the chosen one. He is God's chosen. He is the anointed one, so on and so forth. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, my TikTok has bounced me again for misinformation. I told you the sensitivity is extremely, very, very rough. It's sometimes annoying as hell.
Getting in fights in the grocery store, but
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rooster here. Guys, I've just lost my live feed. This is what I'm talking about. Please go to my profile. There's a hyperlink to my YouTube account. And please go and join my YouTube because I have a lot of stuff I want to share with you over there. Okay? But anyhow, so go to my bio. The hyperlink to my YouTube live feed is already posted in the bio. Click on it and it'll bring you straight to my YouTube live feed account. Look forward to having you there. Please go do this if y'all want to hear the rest of what I have to say, because there's a lot more I'm going to talk about. It's not this. Excuse me. This is not the end of it, because I lose my live feed with TikTok. This is just a constant harassment by TikTok every time I come on here. But I'm looking forward to speaking with all of you. Come on, come on and click on it. Let's get this show on the road.
there's yeah.
So here we are again, guys. Being controlled by TikTok again.
You've been a bad boy, Rooster.
So yeah, again, we're just the constant harassment and attacks by TikTok is just impeccable. It's just it's just really hard to get around it. But anyhow, I want to welcome all of you back here to the zombie apocalypse on TikTok. But like I've said, guys, please, I encourage you all and ask you all to please come and join us over there on YouTube because this way that it keeps you all from getting bounced every time I get it deeply involved in the conversation. Because there's a lot more stuff I'm going to share with all of you. A lot more. Is understanding the symbols. You got to know the hand signs and the symbols they use. You have to also learn the communication that they also speak from. If you don't learn these things, then you're going to find it very difficult to believe anything I'm saying to all of you because it's all hidden in these communication systems that they have created. So I want to welcome all of you back here, Midwest. Good to have you back. Everybody that has joined me last time, I want to welcome all of you here, Ordinary Guy. Anybody that cares to join me, please go to my bio. I'm on YouTube Live right now, so please go to YouTube Live in case I lose my connection here with TikTok. And because I don't want to stop what I'm doing, but also don't want y'all to miss out on any information. So please come over there. The link, the hyperlink to my YouTube Live is in my bio. Just go to my bio, right below my bio information. You will see the hyperlink. It'll take you straight to my live feed on YouTube. But this is the only way that we can still keep the information going if y'all really care to hear the information that I speak about here. I see a lot of people that are in here that says that y'all have joined, but the problem is I don't see the numbers showing up on my on the head count. You know how you have the counter up here that tells me how many people were in the room? I don't see nobody, just only see that y'all sign in, that's it. Or that y'all join, that's it. But it doesn't show how many people are actually here. So, because right now it currently says 0 people are here, even though I see y'all's names coming in the live feed. All right. So, again, please, guys, because I can't go into details. I'm getting tired of going into details, and then as soon as I get started in my conversation, I get bounced out of here. Go to my YouTube account, hyperlink that's in my bio here on TikTok. Just go to my bio, click on it. It'll take you to my YouTube Live, and come and join me over there because I cannot speak about the things that I want to talk about on TikTok. It's going to simply restrict me from doing it. And there's just simply a lot of shit you all really need to hear. Hello, Kimbo. Welcome to the group. Again, please, guys, I'm asking y'all to go to my YouTube hyperlink on my bio. Come and join me live over here because that's where I'm going to start my conversation at. I'm just trying to use this as an introductory to my YouTube Live. The subject that we're talking about on there is called the signs of betrayal, of treason and betrayal. Sorry, I dropped my phone here. That's what I keep trying to do is tell everybody to hit those like buttons to get more people in here. Because I like to get all of you in here, man. I really want all of you guys to really please come and listen because these are very, very vital information I want to share with all of you. And I can't do it on TikTok. I just simply can't. They keep bouncing me on my live feed, so I can't get into the subject. So I use YouTube to talk about the subject because it's the only place I can go in there other than my Telegram group, and y'all won't go in there. I keep trying to get y'all to join my Telegram group, and y'all still won't go in there to join for I don't know what reason. There's so much stuff you're missing out on. And the importance is to get y'all to go there to listen to it. So now, I want you all to do me a favor. I want you to think, just simply think. What were all of the things that you all noticed about Trump that did not set well with you all? And be truthful with yourself. Even if you supported him, be truthful with yourselves. What were the things as a Trump supporter did you truly see about him that did not set well with you comfortably? I think that's a legitimate question, because I know that there's a lot of things you've seen about him that you really didn't like about him. Even though you went into denial about it, I still know that there are things that y'all don't like about him. So do us all a favor. Think about that before you just openly answer the question. Think real hard. What were the characteristics about Trump that did not settle with you too well? Because I know you didn't 100% trust him. There ain't a single soul on this planet that can 100% trust somebody, especially when they've been betrayed for so many years by the same characters and the same people who keep saying the same good speakings. So, but write down on a piece of paper all the things that did not set well with you about Trump, even if you voted for him. And look at those characters that you didn't like about him. And then do yourself a favor. Go compare those complaints that you didn't like about him, even if you liked him because he said he's going to make America great again, and that you think he loves you and has your heart's at best interest. It doesn't make a difference. Write them down, the things that you didn't like about him. And then when you do that, then go and compare those notes of your complaints to what you read about the Antichrist in the Bible. And when you do, now you're going to see why you didn't like him. You understand? Now you're going to see why you don't like him. Because he matches all the descriptions that you don't like to that what you read in the Bible about the Antichrist. That's a fact. And all you can do from here is just simply deny it and go bury your head in the sand and just accept whatever hell or whatever plan he plans on doing, even if it's going to be negative or bad or whatever, and just go on about your business. You don't have to worry about being in here in this group anymore because you accepted everything about him. But if you don't accept everything about him, then that's why we need you here. Why do we need you here? Why do I need you here? Because he's not threatened by you because you worship Jesus. He's threatened by you because you will know the truth about him. And once you Christians know the truth about him, only that and then and there will he fear you the most, because he fears exposure. He fears expulsion. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he fears. He doesn't fear you because you go to church and worship Jesus, because you're already a part of the occult because you go there anyways. So he's not worried about that. He got you in the right place. He knows the church is his and it belongs to him and his Luciferian party. He already knows that 100%. That's how when we were talking earlier, that's the false prophecy. But what I want you to do is compare your own dislikes to that of the 45 different descriptions in the Bible about the Antichrist. And then only then will you understand what I'm trying to explain to you. But if you don't do it like this, then you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. You're not going to have a clue, and you're going to just simply just deny, call me a misinformationist, call me this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, now I'm not encouraging you to listen to me anymore. I'm just encouraging you to write down all of the things you didn't truly like about the guy and be truthful to yourself, because you're not lying to me. You can lie to yourself all you want, because it's you. You're not hurting me. You're hurting yourself. So only be truthful to yourself in the privacy of your own home. Write it down, and then go open up your Bible and compare your notes of what you didn't like about him, and then you will see exactly who you put in that office. That's the best way. I want to say thank you, Mary, for following me. That's the best way that you will learn the truth without me having to say a damn word. Because if you're not going to listen to me, and you're going to deny everything I'm saying about him, and you're going to try to get my videos removed and my live feed removed because I'm telling you about him, then it's better that y'all just go and you go compare your notes to it. So compare what you don't like about him to the notes in the Bible and tell me if it's the same person. Instead of you looking at him as Trump, the name Trump, look at his name in reference as trumpet and horn, because horn is a reference to trumpet. Okay? And the abbreviation to trumpet is Trump. Now, look at it in that phrase and compare it to when you hear the reference, the little horn in Daniel 7 and 8, Revelations 13 through the entire chapter of 13, referencing the Antichrist as the seven that has the 7 heads with 7 horns and 7 crowns, and 10 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns, and you know that it's referencing him. They muted my voice. No, they didn't mute my voice. Hang on a second. They didn't mute me. They just, my microphone went dead. 1 second. Now, can you hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you all hear me? Okay. Yeah, my microphone went dead. So I have 2 different microphones. So apparently I need to charge both of them so I don't lose connection. So, but anyhow, so now you see what I'm talking about. Now you can understand why I'm pushing the subject and showing you why that it's compared and why it's so perfectly connected to the Bible. I'm not doing it because I despise the guy. I'm not doing it because I hate the guy. I'm not exposing him because he's, that I have a vendetta against the guy. I don't have a vendetta against the guy. I don't have a hatred towards the guy. I just see him for who he really is. I just started noticing a lot of flaws about him that reminded me of many stories I've read in the Bible. It just became inseparable, and it became hard to not see it. And the more that I looked into it, the more that I was able to confirm it. And, you look at the information and you try to compare it and try to rule it out, just like you do on any criminal case. Anytime you see a crime and go into a crime scene, and you look at the crime, and then you pull all the witnesses there, but you try your best to rule out all the witnesses possible connected to that crime. And I tried to do the same thing with him. I tried to rule him out, that he's not a part of this crime syndicate. But the truth came out, and it became impossible to not, separate him from it, because he was a part of it. It became impossible for me to separate him. to not, to rule him out, to not make him a part of this agenda, to not make him a part of this game. But there's too many signs, way too many damn signs. It just became irrefutable. You just could not fucking deny it, even if you tried. Because I started writing down the things I remember about the Antichrist, and there are 45 descriptions of the Antichrist. That's all that's in the entire Bible. Only 45 different descriptions that describe him. Trade perfection. And I found that was, when I heard that, when I found out that it was only 45 different descriptions, I found that was kind of ironic. It's so, so coincidental that you no longer can look at it as a coincidence that he's also the 45th president. 45 descriptions of the 45th president. What are the odds of that being so precisely matching him? That not only the number matches his first position as a ruler, but even the details in all 45 scriptures detailing that he's the only one that matched all 45 scriptures. It simply was impossible to not see it. And if you didn't see it, it meant that you were simply did not have an interest to look at it. And you just go into denial plausibility because you didn't want to be wrong on this. You don't want to, you don't want to be the guy that says, well, he is an evil guy and I don't want him in the office. Or you had some kind of, I don't know what your reasons were. I don't know what the reasons were that people just simply went into denial, straight denial. They didn't look at the evidence. They didn't look deep into the evidence. They didn't look deep into the claims of why we're saying this. They just simply went straight to denial, the word denial. Oh, you're a false informationist, or you're a false teacher. You're teaching wrong. You're not telling the truth, blah, blah, blah. And I always said, well, if I'm not telling the damn truth, then show me where I'm wrong at. Prove me wrong. Why are you so afraid of debating? Prove me wrong. I called it out. Now your job is to prove me wrong. Show me where I'm wrong at. Don't just deny it and call me a misinformationist or a conspiracy theorist or a Democrat, because I'm not a Democrat, and I've already made that very clear to all of you. But show me where I'm wrong, because I can show you where I'm right. I have no problem showing you where I'm right. I've been doing it all night, every night for the last 24 years that I'm damn well right. I can confirm it, document it, and show you the proof of the documents. But not once can any of you Trump supporters prove that I'm wrong. And I'll only ask you to do it. Prove me wrong. It doesn't take much to show me the evidence that you have. Let me see your evidence that I'm wrong. Then I have even truthers that believe that Obama's the Antichrist. No, there's not one description in the Bible that matches him. All 45 scriptures in the Bible does not match Barack Obama. I've tried it. So look. He's not boastful. The other thing is that I was able to find who Barack Obama was in the Bible. And it wasn't the Antichrist. So how did I find Obama's name in the Bible? That's crazy. Because it was found in Luke 10, verse 18. And the scripture read, "Behold, I saw Satan falling like lightning from the heavens." And I'd never thought about it before, but then because I'm a conspiracy theorist, I decided to use my conspiratorial, my conspiratorial, ideology, and decided, well, I'm going to start questioning this book. I'm going to look at this a little bit more closer. And I started applying the rule called English 101. When a teacher asks you to locate the subject in the sentence, you go and you find it. What's the subject matter in the sentence of the scripture? Satan. That's the subject. That's the only subject that is in that scripture. And then the teacher will then ask you, locate the words in that same sentence that describes or identifies the subject. And that's what our teacher would tell us in English 101. And I just did that. Lightning and heaven are the only two words that are identifying and describing the subject, Satan, in that scripture. And so to get a better understanding of that scripture is to go to Hebrew, which is where the Bible was, quote unquote, originated from in Hebrew language. So I did that. Strong's Dictionary, Hebrew Strong's Dictionary. Typed it in there, lightning in heaven. Came back, Barack Obama. That's a fact. And then when you go in there for Barack Obama, the translation of Barack Obama means the point of height, or the height of the point. The height of point meaning the light, the great light, the bright light. What else do we know about the bright light? What other word references the bright light or the point of the height? You'll find out it actually references the sun, the morning star. Quite interesting, isn't it? So now we confirm that Obama is actually the biblical supposed quote unquote Lucifer, the initiated Lucifer according to the Bible. And I said, well, that's quite interesting. And that, of course, I told you earlier that I located who the false prophet is. And that didn't take long to locate the false prophet. And that was the actual church who endorsed Donald Trump, calling him God's chosen, the anointed one, quote unquote. Because that's what the Bible in Revelation 13 was referencing. It was referencing the church as the second beast who rises from the earth, which means they rose from the earth in secrecy because they were in silence. And when they rose from the earth, from their silence to endorse him as God's chosen, they just then immediately put themselves right on the target as the false prophet. See, it wasn't the papacy of the Catholic Church that was the false prophet. It was the church, the evangelicals, who were the actual false prophets. In other words, the organization was the false prophet. Because there are many false prophets. There are many antichrists. There are many Lucifers. There are many demons. There are many, because they're all a part of an occult. They're like a legion. So you got to start asking yourself, well, who the legions of Antichrist are they? Where are these legions of Antichrist? And you want to know what I found out? The actual legions of Antichrist that the Bible was referring to the Christians. Pretty insane, isn't it? See, while the Christians thought they were worshiping a Savior and that they were saved, worshiping the true Creator, they were actually worshiping a false Messiah and a false God, because the Bible is designed that you worship the false God and the false Messiah, who is actually the real Antichrist. He was playing a duality. And that's the interesting part. Now that we now know who the false prophet is and who the legions of demons are, I call them demons, the legions of Antichrist, those are the Christians who support the Antichrist. But you all got to understand, Antichrist is a title a position in the system. You are a position in the system. It's a title they gave you. Like I'm employee number one or employee 0034 or a prison inmate 33321. You are a position, but nonetheless, you still serve the order of the system. You understand what I'm saying? All Antichrist is not an actual person called the Antichrist. He is the ruler of the Antichrist system, the new Luciferian system that they are initiating on the planet. You're starting to understand now? So now, and how did I find out that the Christians are the actual Antichrist? Because when you become a follower in the faith, okay, you take on a new identity. They call you a Christian. And when you become a Christian, you've now become a member of the organization. Which organization is that? The Christianity organization. And the Christianity organization is where the word Antichrist exists. And I'm going to show you how. They concealed the Antichrist membership under the word Christianity. Christianity, with the same letters, spells Antichrist. All they did was play with the words, mix it around to call it Christianity, so you think it's in reference to a good thing. In actuality, it's not. It's a reverse psychology, programming you into an Antichrist system as a legion of Antichrists. Antichrist does not mean anti against Christ. Anti-Christ was a reverse psychology put on your forehead as a potential threat to the actual ruler of the Antichrist, calling you anti against him who has established himself and proclaimed himself your Christ, your Savior, your ruler, where it's a play of reverse psychology where the actual target is you. And the word Antichrist is a target that they labeled the Christians to put a target on them to kill them because they're the potential threat. They are the ones that stand a higher position that can destroy his power and his existence. That's why he's threatened by them, not because they're serving the true creator. It's because they will soon learn the truth. They're all going to be revealed the truth, that they've been deceived and that they are all going to be leading to destroy him. Once they realize the truth, then he feels threatened by that. He knows that that's going to happen. He knows eventually the truth is going to be fulfilled. The truth is going to be revealed to them. And that's what's happening right now. You Trump supporters are starting to wake up that, hey, maybe we got this wrong. There's something going on with Donald Trump meeting with these corporate CEOs, Jeff Bezos, and also in meeting with and putting Elon Musk as the head of his technical system. There's a reason why he's teaming with these corporations, because he's turning the government into a corporate power openly, right in front of your eyes. There's a reason why he put Elon Musk in power, because Elon Musk is going to be the head and the leader of the microchip RFID implants in every single human being on the planet. He's going to be the one to mass produce the chips that Donald Trump told you he wants to do before he became president the first time. He said that he admires the digital world and that he wants to be able to track everyone from the skies, from the air, from land, and from sea, and to track everybody from all over the world. He said this very openly to all of you, but no one listened. Because they weren't listening to those details. All the Trump supporters, all they wanted to hear is, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for our country? because we're tired of paying high prices at the pumps, high prices at the grocery stores for our food to survive. All they're worried about is what are you going to do for America? And what did he do? He gave them the best speech that they were all desperately waiting for. And you want to know what that speech was?
America, I'm going to make America great again.
And that catapulted him into ultimate power with the Trump supporters. Because now that's what they wanted to hear. They don't want to hear he's going to put microchip implants into their damn bodies to track them wherever they go and come. They wanted to know what is he going to do about America so that they don't have to fill it in their pocketbooks, blah, 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 when they go to the damn grocery store. And do you want to know they don't really give a shit about the Constitution? Because even they shit on the constitutional rights themselves, and that's the truth. They do. When they speak against First Amendment, they say that they all support First Amendment, but whenever I give my opinion about Donald Trump, they quickly try to have my videos removed. It shows that they're biased, they're double standard, that they support it only when it benefits them, but they don't support the Constitution when it benefits other people. But here's the real truth, is that you're all going to still see the hell he's going to bring. You haven't yet begun to see the real shit show he's about to start. He's teaming up with these two fat cats, Amazon, who is pushing the digital tracking devices. Amazon is also pushing robotic engineering to replace humans with robots, that they can produce a lot faster than humans, and they can do it with basically 1 to 0 flaws into their production rate versus the 70 to 90% failure in human production rate. And they can do it in half the time that humans can do it in. So they're all pushing for this digital Tesla system. And Donald Trump is highly on board with the technical summit, meeting that he had with these CEOs, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. That's what they were discussing. He also met with TikTok. How many of y'all remember that? And he told TikTok to be visual with all of their videos, and that he has a warm heart for TikTok because why? Not because TikTok is doing what they're doing to censor our videos, but only because TikTok brought in the most Trump supporters at 36% supporters to vote for him to get him elected. That's the only reason why Donald Trump has a warm heart for TikTok, because it benefits him at the election polls. But it's shitting on you because he told them to keep a visual eye to anyone who speaks against him, to have their videos banned, to have their videos removed, so on and so forth. If you're going to stay in business in the United States, and for me to remove that ban order that's given to you by January the 19th, you're to do this. In other words, he gave TikTok an ultimatum. Either do as I command you to do. You work for me now. You do what I tell you to do if you're going to work in this country. Pretty fucked up, isn't it? See, now TikTok is now, after the inauguration, you ain't seen shit yet on their censorship. TikTok is going to be official snitches for Donald Trump. That's a fact. They're going to be the Gestapos. They're going to monitor people like you and me that come on here that exposes him and his crimes against humanity. So you think we're out of the equation. You think we're out of the threat. No. People, the threat is just beginning. He ain't even got in that office, and he's already starting to put his cabinet together. Look at all of his cabinet members. Every one of them have criminal damn charges and criminal records, straining from child pedophilia to rape to sexual misconduct, blah blah blah, to even theft. He has criminals working in his fucking cabinet, convicted criminals. And I'm not saying this to downplay him. I'm not. I'm sitting up here when I first stumbled across all this. I already know he is who I said he was earlier on. I already know this 100%. But you got that little back, that back little thought in your head. God, I just hope I'm wrong about this. I'd rather be wrong than right, but I already know I'm not. I know 1,000 times over I'm not. But you still got that little voice in your head. Gosh, I just hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm just living in a pipe dream. But I know I'm not. The reality kicks in. I'm not wrong about this. This is 1,000 times over, 1,000,000,000%. He is who I said he was. He's a Trojan horse. And he needed you all to support him. He needs you all to get him in that office. Make it official. That means that once you make it official, you accept him for his good and his bad. And lo and behold, you're going to see more bad of him than you will see of good of him. Because he is the 47th president. Remember, 45 and 47 is 9/11. Those numbers are very significant. What happened on 9/11, September the 11th, 2001? People were killed by illness and by mass murder on that day. What does 9/11 reference? Illness and death. So if he's the president that referenced illness and death, well, guess what happened during his during the first presidency? COVID-19, the pandemic. He became the president that launched illness against the population, the pandemic. And then he became the president that launched the vaccine program during his watch. And he even proclaimed himself as the father of the vaccines. He said it openly. That killed a lot of people and made a lot of people have adverse effects and illnesses and sickness that cannot be reversed. And now, in other words, he became the number 9 president. 4 and 5 is 9. And now that y'all have elected him as the 47th president, he's going to be the president that is number 11, representing kill. Because the number 9 is I, K is the 11th letter, which means illness and kill. And so when he becomes 47 officially, he will then campaign an all-out assault against all the Christians to kill them before they know the truth. And those Christians, who do you think makes up the masses of those Christians? The Trump supporters. Crazy, isn't it? So in other words, he's using you only to make it official, and then he's going to betray you, and he's going to wage war against you to eliminate you as a potential threat that can eliminate him. Y'all starting to follow on what I'm talking about? He even made it very clear he's going to go after all of his enemies that tried to destroy him. And he ain't going after them to have them arrested. He's going after them to behead them. And once that he introduces and inducts the new law of the Jews into the laws of the United States called the Noahide law, once this becomes actually official, the moment, which is what he's going to do, he's already made a promise to the Jews that he would do it. They even announced it during his last campaign meeting that he had in Madison Square Garden, the last rally that he had there. Remember the rabbi that came out in the open was praying over his election and praying over his rally. Remember when he said that finally that Donald Trump is finally going to get we're going to finally get the no-hide law into the United States, and we're going to finally make it a global law that everyone around the world must follow. And those who don't, all of you that don't know what the no-hide law is, go read it. It's 7 Noah's laws, the 7 laws of Noah. That's called the no-hide law. There's 7 laws, and every one of those 7 laws make up a capital offense. If you break any of those laws, there are capital offenses, and they are all capital offenses by death by beheading. In other words, if you break any of those 7 laws, they will behead you. So how are they going to kill the Christians? Because they're going to be deemed as worshiping a false idol. Because Jesus to the Jews is a false idol. You see what I'm saying? And that's their law being inducted in here. So they're going to use that as a justification that you're worshiping a false, a false image, a false Messiah, a false God. You're idol worshiping. And they're going to behead you. Yep. The problem is every time I'm on TikTok here making a live, so I'm airing it here while I'm making the TikTok live, and hopefully that y'all caught on to the conversation on YouTube. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera over here. I'm looking at the camera over here because I'm focused on what's going on over here because there's nobody here commenting on my YouTube. So all the people that are commenting, they're commenting over here on my TikTok, so I'm responding to them. So don't think that I'm ignoring you guys, that I'm not responding to any of you. I want to welcome all of you here. Whoever's joining me live right here on my YouTube, I would like to say thank you for joining me. Can y'all please identify yourself in the chat form so I know who you are, because I can't see who's joining me by names. I don't know why I can't see the people here. Let me say hello to you guys in text. I know where to say hi at. Would you like to come and join? If you will, again, like I asked you guys, if you can hear me, say hello in the text over here to the, over this way. Over here in the corner, you'll see on the left-hand corner, or on your side, it'll be on the right-hand side. You see at the bottom where the text field is, just type in there hello, and so I can see who you are that joined me. I appreciate it. I don't think they're going to let me have my live feedback. Give me 1 second here. I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm just trying to figure out if they got my live feedback. They're determined not to let me have my live feed. I don't think I'm gonna get it this time because they're taking longer to do it. Yeah, I think I lost my live feed.
This year, let DoorDash knock out your financial.
Okay. So anyhow, since I've lost the live feed, guys, I'm gonna just continue the rest of it here. They're not going to let me have it this time because I talked about the Jews. I have a feeling they're not going to let me have it. Because they're taking longer to answer this time, which usually is a sign meaning that I lost it. Okay, that's all right. Piss on them.
Websites are being manipulated with reverse.
All right. So that ended that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rich here. Guys, I've just lost my live feed. This is what I'm talking about. Please go to my profile. There's
Okay, guys. So anyhow, so everything I've shared with y'all tonight thus far is just simply showing you the criminal connection behind Donald Trump, how that he is a part of the Luciferian agenda, how that he is actually the initiate antichrist, the behavior of him, and the people that he has brought into his circle are all within themselves very demonic, and they all have criminal rap sheets against them. But why is Donald Trump always strapped around criminals, convicted felons, convicted criminals, so on and so forth? Why is he around known pedophiles? Why does he hang out with known pedophiles who are tycoons, cartels, such as Carlos Slim, Oprah Winfrey, so on and so forth? Because these are part of his circle of his indulgence. He indulges in human trafficking. He indulges in child slaves, so on and so forth, because he himself is a pedophile. Even though he's never been brought to court in an open court because of intimidation and threats that he has posed on the accusers, doesn't mean he's not guilty when he wasn't found guilty by court. You got to understand the measure that he was involved in and the measure he went through to keep from being accused or keep from going to that courtroom, making a court appearance. He went through a lot of trouble to make sure he wasn't a part of it, that he wasn't brought up under any kind of inquiry. He tried everything in his power to minimize his relationship to Jeffrey Epstein that was already caught on video and video evidence that he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for over 15 years. But he tried to minimize the impact of what it would do to his political position if it got into the wrong hands. And that would be against the people who would be able to know what to do with that information that could destroy him. So the other thing that you all need to understand is that the same thing happened to Hillary Clinton. She evaded courtrooms. Even though she was brought before Congress, Congress not really a courtroom. Okay, she's just under an agreed meeting with Congress to answer a few questions, but she doesn't have to answer any questions because it's not a typical or a normal court proceeding. But she also herself evaded persecution for her crimes against the public. Because she's not just only involved in the crimes of Benghazi, in the Libyan Contra, and gun running. She's also involved in murders for hire and hits on eyewitnesses that got too close to her or her husband, and the exposure of their crime syndicate involvements and crimes with cartels and drug cartels when they were back running as a governor, when he was running as a governor in Hope, Arkansas. Like I've said, this information can be found, and you can listen to the full documentary called The Clinton Chronicles. It's on YouTube. You can post it on YouTube, and you can watch the whole entirety, because it's the best documentary that literally, without doubt, puts her on every crime scene as the only one who benefited the most from the deaths of the so-called witnesses. Because there were several times they were about to that they were ordered to appear in court. They've even received court dates to show up in court, but the witnesses were a no-show because they were murdered. There are over 78 murders that were tied to the Clinton family, the Clinton administration, stretching all the way back to when he was a governor. 78 murders. Can you imagine that? That's super insane. See, but what Clinton tried to do and did do was try to bring his criminal crimes and his crime syndicate in, not only to corrupt the governorship of Arkansas, but he also tried to to corrupt the government itself, the federal government, by bringing that crime syndicate into the White House and operating a drug cartel from the White House. That's exactly what his plans were. And was it an accident that he got caught with Monica Lewinsky? No, that was typical Clinton. Clinton was a damn whoremonger. He was a gigolo. He was a cocaine addict, and everybody in the world knew that Clinton was a coke addict. He loved that white powder because it made him feel inferior. It made him feel, invincible. That no one can touch him, that he becomes an untouchable, so and so forth. But he was never an untouchable. But guys, this is the reason why y'all don't see the crimes of Clinton, because y'all been trained and conditioned to turn a blind eye of the crimes they're committing, to only turn your eyes on and open and your ears open onto the things that sounds like it's benefiting you. And that's how they won you over. And they poured it on you to make sure that your only focus was to focus on the good things they do for you as a nation, as a countryman or as a family member, is to pretend like they love you and that they have your interests at heart, while they're undermining you behind the scenes, dismantling you and destroying your way of life. How many of you remember the so-called real estate fraud? The fall of the real estate. All the houses all of a sudden went foreclosure all across the country, all at the same time. This all happened during the Clinton administration. They were behind it. They're the ones that caused it. and masterminded it so that people would get thrown out of their houses and they can remanufacture their homes and reprocess their homes through the real estate agency to make more money off of more fortunate people than those that were less fortunate. That's how dirty and evil and undermining the Clintons were. That was during the housing and real estate fraud that happened across the nation. It was like, and it happened like it was all overnight, nationwide. Short-term loan fraud. That's what they called it. What they were calling it in the news. Clintons were behind the Waco, Branch Davidian massacre. They're the ones that gave the order. Clinton gave the order to Janet Reno. Janet Reno then gave the orders to the damn DEF or the DEA and to the FBI to get them out no matter what you do, no matter what you have to do to get them out. Even if it meant gassing the damn building and torching it to smoke them out or to burn them out. But then one other thing happened is they started trapping the doors and all accesses out of the building. They started putting barricades up to keep them from escaping. They intentionally murdered everyone in that building. And that was not a joke. It was not an exaggeration. It really, truly happened. They were restricted from being able to get out because someone set the barricades up to make sure that they died in those buildings. No one came out surviving. And the reason why is because they all witnessed the truth of what went on during the event. And they were too afraid that someone was going to blow whistle or everyone was going to blow whistle as to what they witnessed. Because the best way to silence the crime is to silence the witness. It'll never see the day of it will never see a daylight in the courtroom. It'll never make it there because they can't have a court without a witness. And they can't prosecute a person without a witness. And that's how you know that you all became scammed. Super insane, man. So I talked about the Jews and they banned me. I'm no longer allowed to go in there. Not until the 26th of December. Anti-Semitic. Anyhow, guys, there's so much more to talk about. The fact that he talked with these damn corporate powers that showed you that he does not have your interest at heart. And that proves that Donald Trump is very much being bought off by the corporate powers who are using him to fulfill their agendas. That's what's taking place. And he's playing y'all guys. And that's the truth. He really is playing. And all we can do is sit back and wait and watch with you. I can only sit here and watch you all when your faces all change. That's all I'm waiting for. I want your faces. I want to see your faces when they change. When he wages war against you and everything I said tonight, you're going to see with your own eyes. Then you got to worry about a word that comes out of my mouth. So, guys, by saying that, I am going to now call this the end of the night. It is getting late here. I didn't realize I'm on here for 2 hours again tonight. But when I talk, it's kind of hard to get out of it because I'm like, I know everything and I want to share as much as I can in the time that I'm here. But please, save these videos for your benefit. Save them. Share them. Let them go viral. Let people hear this information. Help me get this information out. I left the damn chat open for everybody to speak, but nobody's talking. But I'm waiting for you all to come and join me. See you then, guys. Yeah, I'm tired. Have a good night. Until next time.